Hey, what's going on YouTube? So I'm here to showcase a heavy attack 1-bar bow Oakensoul build for the Stamina Warden, updated for the Firesong DLC patch. This build is capable of pulling over 80k on the parse dummy and is optimized as best as possible for group content. In the initial setup, I'll be using mythics and trial gear, so this is not a super beginner friendly build, but rather more for endgame players who prefer 1-bar builds. Keep in mind that in the closing thoughts section, there will be a gear alternative section to mix and match sets you may have. Please use these builds as a baseline, as there are many viable gear sets and skills in the game to customize how you want to play. With that being said, here's the build. So starting off in the character sheet, I have 64 points in a stamina, and I'm running the Thief Mundus. For the race, we're a Dark Elf. I think Dark Elves have some of the best passives for stamina DPS. For the food, we're just going to run Bystat blue food, so braised rabbit with spring vegetables is probably your best bet. So for potions, since we're running Oakensoul, we don't need to run Essence of Weapon Power. Instead, we could just run Tri-Stat potions as a pseudo heal, but if you do happen to need stamina, you can always run Essence of Stamina. Make sure you have medicinal use from the alchemy skill line to fully benefit from the full duration of the potions. So for CP, for the blue tree, we're going to be running Deadly Aim, Weapons Expert, Master at Arms, and Exploiter. So for the gear, we're going to be running 5 pieces of Sergeant's Mail paired with 5 pieces of Stormmaster, 1 piece Light Slime Crawl, and an Oakensoul ring. So breaking it down in the main hand, we have a bow of the Sergeant's Mail, Precise with a flame damage enchant. For the head slot, we have a Slime Crawl, Divines with a max stam enchant. This is in light. For the chest, we have 1 piece of Sergeant's Mail chest and Divines with a max stam enchant. For the body, we have 5 pieces of Stormmaster, all traded in Divines with max stam enchants. And for the jewelry, we have 2 pieces of Sergeant's Mail, both with weapon damage enchants, traded in Bloodthirsty. And lastly, the Oakensoul, which is Bloodthirsty with a weapon damage enchant as well. So for the skills, we're going to be running Subterranean Assault, Cutting Dive, Poison Injection, Growing Swarm, Endless Hail, and Wild Guardian. So for the rotation, what I found works best is just balance your cooldown, so you can just cast 1 skill with each heavy attack, so you don't need to weave light attacks, and try to keep up Subterranean Assault as best as possible, and then worry about your 3 other dots: Poison Injection, Growing Swarm, and Endless Hail. And Cutting Dive is there for the off balance proc, but if it's already off balance, it does apply a dot, so feel free to recast that. And lastly, whenever your ultimate Wild Guardian is ready, you could just use that whenever. So for closing thoughts, the reason why we're running Cutting Dive is to proc off balance, because off balance increases the damage of our heavy attacks and also procs Exploiter, so you do get pretty crazy high numbers when you do proc off balance. And for your flex spot, you could probably drop Endless Hail and slot in whatever skill you may need. So for closing thoughts, I chose Sergeant's Mail because it is the strongest heavy attack set, although you do have to keep the stacks up. And then I paired it with Stormmaster because Stormmaster is easy to keep up and all it does is require a crit damage when you heavy attack. So those are the reasons why I chose those 2 sets. Some gear alternatives would be Undaunted Unweaver and Infiltrator. They're okay sets that do pretty good damage boost for your heavy attacks. Infallible Mage is actually not that bad either. It does give you the Minor Slayer, which we don't have, but the actual damage it adds to the heavy attacks is kind of low compared to the other sets. And Noble Duelist is actually really strong. The heavy attack bonus is actually stronger than Stormmaster, but you do have to be in melee range, and I wanted 1 easy set to proc, which was the Stormmaster, and then worry about keeping Sergeant's Mail up. So any of those sets would work just fine. And that wraps up the build explanation section of this portion. As always, thank you for watching my video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below, or better yet, come join our Discord. Link is in the description. As a reminder, if this video helped in any way, please help the channel grow by subscribing and liking the video. I will also have a written guide in the description for those who would prefer that. And lastly, I've also started a channel membership for those who like to go the extra step to help support me so I can focus on more content creation. And as always, feel free to stick around for the attached parse. If not, have a good day and see you in the next one.